Hello and welcome everyone to our new webinar. This is Ricardo Casanovas, and today with me I have Kim Alfaro, our General Manager. In our presentation today, we're going to talk about how you can accelerate your SAP on AWS deployments with the AWS Marketplace. We're going to have a brief presentation and a short demo to describe these features. Let us wait a couple of minutes to let some people from the audience to join, and we'll get started away. Okay, so let's get started. Again, welcome everyone to our new webinar. My name is Ricardo Casanovas. I have with me Kim Alfaro, our General Manager, and we will guide you through today's presentation. Today, we want to talk about how you can accelerate your SAP on AWS deployments with the help of the AWS Marketplace. We have a short introduction and presentation and a demo where we will show you how this works. Before we get into matters, I'd like to do a small introduction about our company. Linke, we are an AWS Premier Consulting Partner that helps enterprise customers on their cloud journey with AWS. We are an AWS Premier Consulting Partner holding the SAP competency, the DevOps competency, and we recently achieved the AWS migration competency. This reflects all our track record in companies deploy, migrate, operate, and automate their enterprise applications on the AWS clouds. Additionally, we also develop a set of products that allow SAP applications to extend and integrate better with the AWS cloud. And today, we're going to focus and talk about one of these products that we deliver to our customers in cooperation with the AWS Marketplace. A little bit more, some figures about our company. We are the only non-global system integrator to be AWS Premier Partner with the SAP and the migrations competency from AWS. We manage more than 140 SAP production instances for our customers through our managed services division. Back in 2018, we executed more than 52 SAP migration projects, and our team holds more than 105 SAP and AWS certifications. We have customers present in more than 9 countries, mainly in EMEA, and currently our product portfolio includes 6 different products. About these products, today we're going to focus around our SAP pre-installed systems, which are pre-configured and ready-to-use SAP solutions available through the AWS Marketplace. Additionally, our other products, we can highlight Emory Cloud Backup and the AWS Connector for SAP, both products certified by SAP to help execute SAP HANA backups on the AWS S3 storage. SAP systems with AWS services such as S3, SNS, SES, Lambda, and DynamoDB. Sorry. We have also the SAP automation platform, which allows us to automate the deployment of SAP infrastructures on AWS. A result of this automation platform is our SAP pre-installed systems, which we're going to talk today about. Additionally, we have the high availability for SAP. We have developed within SAP, within the Amazon Web Services, a high availability orchestrator to manage high availability high availability for SAP applications in the cloud. So all the clustering and management of the availability of SAP applications is running 100% on Amazon Web Services. And finally, we have Elastic SAP, which is the auto-scaling feature for SAP NetWeaver that allows us to automatically add and remove SAP application servers depending on the demand of or the workload on each of the systems. So now I'm going to leave Joachim the leading part of the presentation, and he will guide you through our pre-installed SAP systems to the AWS Marketplace and the demo.
Thanks, Ricardo, and welcome everybody to our webinar. So the idea for today is to talk about the pre-installed linkage AMIs, and I think just to make aware that everybody what we are talking about AMI, we would start explaining the meaning of Amazon Machine Image. Really what we are talking is a representation of settings and software pre-installed and allow you to start an instance on AWS. You have your root template, your operating system, your disk, and your software installed by default that you decided. And this is not new. This is something that you already have in a virtual platform like Hyper-V or VMware. But when we started to work as a site basis specialist with AWS, was one of the tools that helped us to improve the speeds of deployments and delivering applications to the customer during project phases. With this option, we were able to create the installation once and reuse it later on for setting up the different environments, QA, training, whatever was decided with and agreed as part of the project. How we were getting used to work with AWS, we discovered the marketplace that brings us the opportunity that this work or these images that we are requested per multiple customers share worldwide in a simple location in the AWS marketplace. And this opens the opportunity to start sharing our most requested images by the customers 4 years ago. And this is what we have already in the marketplace. What is really an AMI from SAP of Link? It's a pre-installed system that you need to bring your license and you decide or you can forecast the costing of using this platform. When we talk about pre-installed system is you have all the operating system layer, all the storage required, and all the vanilla installation of a set of SAP solutions ready to start on a set of instances. And what we are using are the ones that are already certified by SAP. One of our values or what we want to propose is that it's something that can be used in a business as usual period of your solution. The only thing is that you choose the type of instance that you want to work with. You can start with a small one, test and upsize your instance or downsize it for your purposes. With this image, you are able to do it in a simple way. And in terms of cost, everything is managed by AWS. We are not aware, in some cases, who is using our images. AWS take care to charging the cost of infrastructure, compute, storage, and the fee that we are adding to the hourly cost price. So you can work with an on-demand request, or even there is options for running a 1-year subscription. Which are the use cases that our customers in the marketplace are facing and are working with? Mostly are non-production usages. It's an installation, a pre-installed system in a single box, where the application server and the database instance are in the same platform. And for that reason, and following the best practice of SAP, this is useful for sandboxing, training, development, and in some cases for quality acceptance tests or integration tests that they need to have the platform up and running. And what we already deliver, and it's available in the marketplace. As I mentioned previously, we started 4 years ago. We have been updating on our catalog of products available in the marketplace, and currently you can see the ones that are available with different SAP solutions and different Linux distributions available. Mostly we are talking, or we are doing the effort to work with HANA, because we see that SAP customers are being pushed to have these systems on the close future. And with this catalog, we know that the customers are learning and playing and are working with a solution that it's shared and created by us. The advantage, as you will see in the demo, is that it's fast. So it will be so simple and easy to go through starting an SAP application up and running, ensuring that it's already certified, because follow the well-architected framework and certification process from SAP in AWS, and also provides a vanilla installation. That it's for sure some of you are already wondering which is the difference with the SAP Cloud Application Library. Here, the difference is that it's a vanilla installation. You only pay for the hours that you have the system up and running, instead of the cloud that you need a subscription. If you download it, you pay to download it or to have it in your account, even you work with it or doesn't work. Okay, so this is the advantages that we see as part of our products that helps us to improve even in implementation scenarios of new installations or new landscapes to be created for our customers. But you can manage by yourself, by your team in AWS without needing us for anything. It's important, this piece, before starting the demo. To start our AMIs, you don't need to have SAP expertise. If you are able to connect via SAP GUI to your system, all the previous steps are clearly defined in our installation guides. We noticed that some developers, some functional consultants had been able to work with our products without any problem. So I believe that it's a good point to start with the demo itself. You will see that everything that it's going to be executed, it's available for everybody. So the first thing that you need to consider is to have your AWS account. This is a standard AWS account where you only need to have access to deploy infrastructure and to use the marketplace. It's a matter that your AWS administrator should provide enough rights, enough permissions to allow you to run this piece. By the other side, you need to decide which region do you want to work with, because this impacts on the cost of the instances, and be prepared with a network, in our case, that only it's reachable if you are connected to link network solution. Nevertheless, if your wish is to have it published in internet, it's something to prepare your account and your deployment network. This is the one that we are going to use. Be ready beforehand, and you can start working on it. As soon as the definition is created, you can go to start any EC2 instances. As you can see right now, we have everything stopped. Some of our products already prepared for other type of demos, and we can start creating our new implementation. So here is going through the steps to starting a full deployment of an instance. In our case, with delivering the OS and the vanilla installation. Now, once you need to start, you need to decide which is your baseline, your image that you want to work with. We will go to Marketplace and then choose, for sure, Linke, and one of the different products that we want to use. You can see there is a flavor, different ones, mostly on HANA. But for demo purposes, we are going to go through the classical one with the Linux and MaxDB, and you will see during the startup process the reasons and the rationale to don't use it for the webinar. So now we have decided which are the image that we want to use. As we mentioned previously, we are filtering which type of instances you can work with. This is based on the SAP notes and also has been validated by our team to ensure that you will not face any problem starting our image with this instance type. With those that are familiar, you will see that there are different families, different sizing in memory and CPUs, and the cost, the software fee, that is the fee that is related to our work, and the cost related to the EC2 instances. So we use this is information with the end user license and also access to the installation guide if you need to go further it. So you can click it and open it, and we go back to the launch. As an information screen, then we need to start taking the decisions how we want to create our system. This is the selection of instance type. For those that are familiar, you can see the family, the type, CPU, and memory. By default, only selectable those that are already certified by SAP and tested by us. And each image brings a default recommendation based on our experience on customers and based on our testings for a vanilla installation. It can work for sure with a 248, but you don't expect a high performance. You can expect bottlenecks issues, but you can play with it if your team or yourself needs to work with. You decide the instance type, Okay, we will let it as this one, but you can see there are other options available. So we go to the instance details, where we configure the link between our instance and which network do we want to deploy this solution. In our case, there is only one created because this account, following the landing zone configuration, we have a pillar only for demo purposes, and we don't want to create multiple VPCs, so we have a unique one. We assign it to this VPC, and also we have created a set of subnets that we by default we configure for this type of systems. Are standard ones that you don't need to do anything else to work with. The IP will be assigned automatically, and we can see when we start the application. To make your life easier, we also define and we also decide, following the rules defined by SAP, which are the storage required, how it's distributed, and this is something that you can add new volumes, but you should not modify the configuration in terms of I want that def/SDG, it's the other one that we have created, because all the deployments goes based on these names. But if you, for any reason, want to add new volumes, you are able. If you have an encryption policy address, you can decide to use it and include it as part of the definitions process, and then the deployment will take care of it. This is more for those that are get used on AWS. It's a tagging just to make your life easier. When you have a big amount of systems, you need to define the suitable policy of tagging to make your work more able to be automated, because the tags would be the reference to work with. So we will include a name that is link MEI webinar, okay, and we can have, in our case, we have in our policy a key name set that is allows to create automations to ensure the systems are up and running on the right periods, like demo. So we have a Lambda that takes care that if we forget it, this is automatically stopped, all those that have the track. And this is for security reasons. In our case, we have the network, we have defined the distribution, but then who can access to the systems. As we are opening this to everybody and your rules could be different, this is quite open and quite wide. However, the port range could be kept, and the source is the thing that your team, your network team, could help to optimize and to restrict better than the proposed information we are sharing. Said that, we have the system ready to be launched. This means to be started the creation. So as of now is the time that you will need to have an SAP system up and running in your account. As a preview, there is a review with some warnings that are normal. Not this type of awareness. In our case, one of the problems, one of the situations is that as we are working with certified instances of SAP that are big instances, there is no free tier in terms of infrastructure. So this means that if you start the system 1 hour, you will pay for that 1 hour of the instance, okay? And it's important that you are aware of that. In the case of our fees, you have the 5 initial days. Our fee is not charged on your account, so you will only pay for the infrastructure itself. And here, this is a summary of all the data we have included, we have been talking about through the presentation. Instance details, that are the plugins, there are the storage piece that we didn't modify because it's by default created by our AMI, the tags, that is something that we customize it in our case following our rules. In your case, you can create it your own, following your own tagging, and then at that point, we need to connect to have created a key pair, that is a file that recognizes you as an authorized person to access at OS level. So I have already prepared this piece, and then I should start the instances. Now start the full process, the procurement, the deployment, what in a classical data center is cabling, hosting, starting to install the OS level, doing the installation of all the patches at OS level, and starting the installation of SAP. So here, all these steps are executed at that period. Meanwhile, you can see AWS already assigned an IP to our system. Okay, this instance is not ready yet, but I can start preparing to connect later on to my new instance. Okay, this is a SAP for Mac that has some particularities to use it, and with this connection key, we will be able to reach the system. This is already configured. Now, we can say the procurement and the housing piece is already executed. Now the system is starting itself. The piece related to booting the application, and you could be able to see the log here. And we need to wait less than 2 minutes to have it up and running. I will go prepare my connection string to start SAP itself. Okay. This is the standard user to connect to any instance or at OS level. This bash shell is on my laptop, so I am going to connect myself to a system that is on AWS and with the internal IP 254.252.80 that is still initializing. Okay. Till now, all what we have done, it's a matter of 3-4 clicks, nothing else. Everything is predefined and cooked from our product team, making your life easier to be able to have it up and running. Depending on your organization, this could be already done by a sysadmin or with experience in AWS, and they will be able to start for you a new solution based on our software catalog. So opens the window that a different set of people can start playing, can provide you the solution needed. The SAP basis guys, for sure, they are the skilled ones that will help on later details. But with our approach, we are making easier for different range of people. Really, it's our initial focus was to be the SAP basis to do the installations. We are taking out our work to make it available and executable by other type of skills on the IT area. So for a demo purposes, sounds that it takes a while, but if you consider the normal approach, you will see that once this is finished, we are able to say that we have our SAP system running. There are some checks already done. What I am going to do right now is connecting to the system, as this is the first time and there is a fingerprint and some hashes to be accepted. So I am connected. This is our machine deployed with our images, and then as also appear here, if we do it, execute this command, now we are starting an SAP system. EC6 enhancement package 8 with MaxDB in that case. The reason to don't use in the webinar the HANA is because the HANA, to be able to do a normal execution, you need to run a pre-warm of the disks, the storage, and this takes a while. Depending on the size of the machine that you want to use, it's longer or shorter, but by default, it will be 15-30 minutes. Even you can start working, the performance is it's not the one that you're expecting. So for that reason, today's goals is to go through this approach that make our demo easier. And in terms of 10 minutes, with my explanation, you are able to see that you will have the system up and running. This is the standard procedure of starting a database engine. And now we'll start the application server. As soon as we have it, we will be able to go to our system. So if you are in a hurry and you want to connect, of course, it will not work because the SAP has not been started. Now, the console, the SSH is saying that the system is up and running. We connected. I'm still in a hurry, sorry, because it was starting the ASCS and now the application server. Something start usual, and now we have the notification that the system has started. I connected. The first time could take a few seconds. It's connecting, but it's taking a while right now. And here you have access. I know by heart how to start to log in the first time, because this is already in the installation documentation. And here we are launching and starting the connection to our SAP system. As of that piece, this performance is due to the Mac SAP GUI. Okay, so this is why we, for administration purposes, we are not using, but for demo, we prefer to work with our laptops. So this is the connection that you can reach your known system this is a classical SAP with all the transactions that you can work with it. In some cases, you need to run the SGEN, depending on the image, but at that point, it's a matter that it's a blank installation. So you, as of that, you can start working as on your system without any issue. And from my side, this is all what we can offer or we can show today. And I think that as a summary, Ricardo will explain what have you seen. Ricardo, your turn.
Thank you very much, Kim. So wrapping up a little bit, we've seen how through the AWS marketplace, you're able to deploy very fast in a few minutes new server with SAP software installed and ready to use, where you only have to bring your own SAP license to get started. This is our goal here is to help customers speed up the deployment of SAP systems. This is ideal. Well, those systems are pre-architected and pre-formatted, so at the end it's ideal for non-production workloads, and but as well they can work for production workloads with not too strict requirements in terms of architecture. And one of the good things about the integration with the AWS marketplace is that you don't have to stop, you don't have to make any upfront investments, and you can use it and pay for only the time that you use that infrastructure. So this is all from our part with the demo and the explanation about the AWS marketplace offering of our pre-installed SAP systems. Now it's time for questions and answers. So before we end the webinar, we will gladly answer any question that the audience might have. So we're going to wait a few seconds to see if there is any question from the audience. Okay, so we don't seem to have any questions from the audience, so we're going to end the webinar here. Thank you very much, everyone, for attending this webinar, and we hope to see you in our next webinar very soon. Bye-bye. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.